Hello. You muted that experience, huh? Hey guys. I predicted myself getting Bronya. Bronya instead of what? Hi Jay. Hi Q. How are you guys? I didn't expect you guys to be arrive so early. You beat me to the punch, honestly. Um, yeah. Music louder? Oh damn. You lying, bro. Honestly, it's been like a week and a half since I streamed, so bro, I'm not listening to the audio yet. I don't have my fucking headphones connected. Um, really disoriented. So give me we will take a couple seconds to debrief and get back into the groove of, being a cute little streamer girly. Is that better? Now it's good? Okay, good. Thank you. How are you guys? I got Sniper Big Sister from a standard pool. Oh. But what's wrong with Sniper Big Sister? Do you not like Sniper Big Sister? Before I forget, today is Sunday, September the 9th. No, September the 9th, fuck. September the 10th. 2023. I told my friend the pool and he got a 5-star. What 5-star did he get? Sniper Big Sister, good. I like Sniper Big Sister. But how are you guys? Before I get off track and before I forget to ask, how are you guys? I wanna feel her boing boing. What? Huh? That's suspicious. No, that's very suspicious. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Okay. We are set. Hopefully, everything's... Oh fuck, my headphone's connected to my phone, not my computer. Hair? Oh, you want to feel her hair boing. Oh. Chris, I knew that. What do you mean? Her hair looks fun to boing boing. I don't understand, but I'm gonna say yes. Yes. And get up with your face. Oh my gosh, my vacation. It was fun. It was cute little, nice little week out, not doing anything. I did get a big ass allergic reaction. Also today we're playing a bunch of different small games, and then I have like a fun special event for you guys towards the end. Yeah. But my vacation was fun. I had a big allergic reaction, but that went down. I had a lot of drinks. The weather was really nice, not many bugs. It was surprising considering, it's Mexico and it's an island. You'd expect a lot of bugs. The food was great. Company was fun. I made a new friend over there. That was exciting. Yeah, it was nice. If you have any other questions, let me know. I don't know how to explain it. It's been a month since I died. Oh my gosh, really? Happy 1 month death anniversary, Trey. Oh my, that's not fun to say. I need to do the Discord notification. But we're happy that you're not actually dead and that you're still alive. Do not switch. I'm gonna disable that. There we go. Okay, we're ready now. Ooh, ooh. I got a fresh cut. This cut ain't fresh, more like rotten than fresh. What? So you didn't get a fresh cut? Jay, I feel like you scammed us out of thinking that you had a fresh cut, but then you really don't have a fresh cut. Was it a long time ago you got the haircut? There's a pencil. Guys, I fucking started school. I wanna die. I don't even know. Some weeks I'm not even gonna get to stream because like I have work every day and then I have school. And then one day I don't have anything. I wanna sleep in. So just know in advance that, What's up, Coco? Hi, Cuz. How are you, Cuz? It's been a long time since we've seen you, Cuz. Hi, Cozy. Oh my gosh, Athena? Is that you? Or am I getting names mixed up? Mellow the Fair. Oh my gosh, is it the Mellow? No. Hi. It's me. Oh my gosh, hi. How are you? How have you been? It's been a long time. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Don't look at that. I'm a bot. Oh wait, I need to read Dre's comment. I'm a bot. My creator died. My mini master's consciousness. He tries to me to. Huh? I'm okay, Pookie. How are you? Oh my gosh, Pookie. I'm doing wonderful. Just because you came in here and called me that, I'm doing much better. OMG's the cozy. OMG's the Mellow, the pineapple fate. How are you, Mellow? Have you been? I'm good. My cozy. Olivia. Don't say Olivia. Thank you. I don't know if you saw my message, but shh. I'm legal now, but shut up. Sorry, I love you. I'm sorry I'm being aggressive. Anyways, good sleeping right now? You're attempting? True. Cause, go to sleep. Cause, close your eyes, please. Sleep. Listen to my voice. Listen to me whisper. Do you want an ASMR? I can give you an ASMR. Guys, oh, Olivia, it's 20 fucking months? Thank you, Olivia, for the 20 months resub. It's amazing. It's been so long, almost 2 years. It warms my heart that you're still here. Thank you so much for the support. You make my heart go toki toki. Thank you. When you have time, you should check your stream. What happened? What's wrong? Don't scare me like that, please. I'm gonna panic. Oh, Steam! What? No one is in bed. Wait, let me catch. Olivia, what the fuck did you do? I'm not gonna fall asleep right. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No. Can I draw? Yes, Athena, you can draw me. Please, go ahead. I don't even mind. I love your drawings anyways. I'm good. Just laying in bed waiting for... Y'all, go to sleep. Please. Please. Okay, we're gonna check my Steam as Olivia requested. Wait, okay. Olivia, when you said stream, I fucking panicked. I'm like, did I do something wrong? STEAM. Teehee. I'm gonna throw hands. I'm ready to, if Olivia, if you guys don't hear anything from Olivia, just know. Like, Athena, thank you for the like. If you're going to bed, I hope you have a good rest. You can see the fucking cat. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad. The Steam's not opening. Oh, it is opening. I turned off Steam background. Is everyone in bed? How are you? I'm good. Just like, okay, I'm doing fantastic. I am chilling. I took a break off of everything, but I'm feeling a lot better now. Oh, did you guys hear? Wait! Olivia, stop. I've Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Guys, guess what? We're fucking changing games. Say thank you to Olivia. If I ever tell you guys that I have a sugar mommy, it's Olivia. That's all I'm saying. But thank you. Thank you. Fuck. Now I can't stop smiling. Thank you. Sleeping. I'm gonna be behind and everything. No one is in bed. Hi, Alive. How are you? I'm sorry, I'm fucking late. I'm gonna draw you, Pookie. Thanks, Pookie. I'm excited to see you drawing. Hello, I would like to report a hacked account, Cozy. Kieran, you didn't. Kieran, please, no, Kieran. I'm gonna. Cozy does she? Oh, that's why. It's only a special occasion. It's only but also because like, with school and stuff like that, and like with work, I never know when I'm gonna stream, but also because like okay, I'm just gonna reveal it from now why I'm streaming today. And then you guys are gonna forget about this from next year, and then we're gonna move on like I haven't said anything, okay? Do we promise? I think I want to trim my beard, but I don't know. Do it mellow. You can do, it's like a cute little reset. Teehee. Kieran, how are you? You no longer have 10 tier? Because it was too long for, sheesh. Did you guys see what she got me? She got me Dave the Diver. It's so cute. I've been wanting to play that game. I was gonna buy you Baldur's Gate, but I quit. No, Olivia. No, Olivia, please, no. It's okay. I'll buy you Baldur's Gate. I'll buy both of us Baldur's Gate. Because we can both play it. But I love this regardless. You could have gotten me nothing. Just the fact that you gave me a message, I was fucking above the moon. Committing memory got no please, no please. I already owned Baldur's Gate, boo you whore. Okay, this is why. I don't even have chat on this. Thank you. So I made a promise that on my birthday, I knew it. Kinda guessed. Yeah, thank you. I made a promise that I would do a karaoke stream on my birthday. Sideways chat. Is this the chat? Where's the chat? Chat box and sound routines. Okay, here we go. There we go. Anything for you, bestie. Thank you, bestie. Bestie, you spoiled me. I'm getting you something big for Christmas. Just watch. Just you wait. Mark down calendar. No, please don't. Please don't. No, please don't. Please don't. Okay. Kazoos? The kazoos? What a bad time to open Honkai Star Rail inbox. Oh yeah, you know Jay, I was so mad at that because I love Pom Pom. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love Pom Pom, but I didn't know he was gonna say happy birthday to me, and I'm just like, fuck you, Pom Pom, you ruined the surprise. Sad. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. What do you mean absolutely not? You have no choice. I'm gonna do a banger kazoo solo. Actually? Do you actually have a kazoo mellow? It snitched on you? Well, fuck Star Rail. So, I mean... Pom Pom love Pom Pom life. No. Actually, yes. I love Pom Pom. Guys, you guys don't know how much I love Pom Pom. Anyways, so if you guys have a song, I'll sing a collective 3 songs. Max. That's all I'm doing. So you guys choose what songs, and I very shiny. Thank you. Unfortunately, I have to go run some airs. Having a share birthday. Thank you, Olivia. It's alright. Thank you for stopping by and for the gift and for everything. It made me really happy. Thank you. Thank you. 5 is a good number though. 5 is too many. Godzilla by Eminem. Are you high? Godzilla by Eminem. Okay, we're gonna close Star Rail. At least for now. Just so we can get this over with. If people miss it, then that's their fault. Idol by Yas. Oh, okay. I can't sing Japanese, but I love that song. But I can't sing Japanese. But that's a good song. Yep, it's marked on my calendar. I'll never forget. No, Kieran, please, Kieran. What do I have to do to make you forget? We'll listen to Godzilla by Eminem. I don't... Can I get rid of the birthday hat? There we go. What's the song again? Idol by Yosobi. You know, there's an English version by them. I know, but that's besides the point, cuz. With Juice WRLD?
Swallow a bottle of alcohol in her. Feel like Godzilla. Better hit the deck like the car dealer. My whole squad.
Absolutely not. OMG's your birthday? It is. Happy birthday. Thank you, Pookie. If food, I'm not gonna say that. Unholy, but oh, I love that song. There's a song that got stuck in my head, but I keep forgetting the title. Oh, well, better remember it. Oh, there's a metal cover by Idol. Oh, Idol BTS. Can I sing Idol BTS? In GLR, English version. My favorite rapper is Kozu. Shut up, Cube. Yeah, if you what the Viva La Vida? Holy guys, you taking oh, that's great. Dance? Palm and Huh? Side by side? Is it that one? The one where they did that whole Genshin thing? Oh, I know that. I gotta save that because I get Mine All Day by PewDiePie. Why can't we do like the Creeper song? Oh, also, I'm not published. Actually, maybe I'll be nice and publish this VOD. If you don't see the VOD, just know. Revenge? No, the Creeper one. Yeah, if you don't see the VOD, don't be surprised. If you see the VOD, then just know I was in a nice mood. Listen to this one while we search up songs. Yeah, man. No way back in the lights. Yeah, oh, am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore. Is it too late to back out? There's no karaoke thingy? Well, that's lame. I don't know the lyrics though. We're usually just chatting. I'll send you a listen of me crying if you back out. Wait, no, don't cry. Why are you crying? Don't cry. Why are you crying? Wait, that will make you want to back out more? You crying? No, listening to this song and I started whisper singing and I'm just like, fuck, do I really want to do this? I'm like, 9 months? What a coincidence. Hi, Haru. Thank you for the 9 months resub. I'm overheating. Cube, don't cry. I'll sing. I'll do something. Please don't cry. Don't. We don't need that. But thank you. Thank you, Harry Soraya, for the 9 months resub. It's crazy that it's been 9 months anyways. Oh yeah, the Creeper song. Yeah, man. Viva La Vida? And then what was it? There was one song. Teehee? Oh my goodness. Next thing you know, you're gonna say ooh again. Oh, the Creeper song. Oh man. My desk is dirty. Oh, it's by Captain Sparkles? I thought that was by PewDiePie. Whoops. There's an actual karaoke version to it. Do I have to do actual karaoke or can I have some like backup vocals? 12 years ago. Oh, this one. Is 11 o'clock too early to drink? I don't think I could do this without a drink in me. It's so long. That one doesn't have lyrics. Oh, this one has lyrics. I'm gonna mentally prepare. I'm okay. We're gonna. Olivia gifted me. I don't feel like Dave the Diver. So, I guess we'll play Dave the Diver. Um, I'm gonna pull up out of nowhere and then start doing it, and then you guys. It's not gonna be when you guys. Oh, but I have to download it. Damn. Oh, it's only 2 GB. Okay. So we'll chat until that comes up. Um, actually, I guess we can sing one song while that plays. Uh,
Couldn't beat our smile, I stirred up all the media. Secrets I don't wanna know, it's so mysterious.
I don't know if I can do this while it's like, you know, at least not that one. Just cause I'm sorry, I don't know that one. We can do the creep.
Creeper.
Creeper.
Oh, man.
So I'm sorry. No, I'm not doing it. I lied to you guys. We're not doing karaoke. I can't. So while we wait for Dave the Diver to download, I'll tell you a story about our trip. No, cute. Cause listen, okay, I need a drink or two in me, but it's fucking 11 a.m. Sad? No, don't be sad. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to. It's not that I don't feel like it. It's because when I know that I'm doing it, and I know there's people watching, I immediately shut down. I'll tell you a little story. Okay, so when we went on that trip, there was like a karaoke night, and I was so against karaoke, but one of the entertainment guys was just like, you have to sing, like you have to do it. And I tried used all of my power to get us out of it, like me and my sister out of it. And like they weren't having it. So we ended up having like to sing karaoke like in front of everyone. Yeah. But we sang 21 by September, or September by Earth, Wind and Fire. I sang Godzilla during a friend's birthday. Do you know the words to Godzilla, Jay? Can you guys hear David Diver? Settings. Music. 20. No, I don't. It just comes up. Honestly, okay. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. Yeah, we're hearing Dave swimming. You hear Dave swimming? Dave, shut up, please. I'm not. I'm sorry. Okay.
I can swallow
I guess.
a bottle of
I, let me practice.
I can swallow a bottle of alcohol in her. Feel like Godzilla. Better hit the deck like the car dealer. My whole squad's in here walking around the party.
I can't drink and I don't want it. Don't. It's not good for you. Drinking's not healthy. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Ready? Oof, you're a monster. I can swallow a bottle of alcohol and I feel like Godzilla. Better hit the deck like a car dealer. My whole squad's here, walking around like a party, a cross between the zombie apocalypse and Big Bog. The brainy. Damn. That's all you're gonna get. Cause then it just gets. I know, like alcohol. I drank a glass of supposedly good wine with my stepdad. It tasted like it. Wine is a hit or miss. Try champagne. I don't like wine. My heart rate at 50 beats per minute can't pump fast as I pump hard in it. Oh no! Dre, stay away from rapping. That was a good job. We're proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That's it. Do we play Dave the Diver or do we go to the next song? You guys can choose. I prefer hand sanitizer than any alcohol. Honestly, that's what my sister thought. She felt that when she, or at least with like soju, when she first tried soju, it tasted like hand sanitizer. Deathbed by Powerful. Deathbed. Powerful. Is that another rapping song? That's a good song. Oh? You know that song too cute? Oh, this one? Have sing a little. Oh, yeah.
I don't wanna fall asleep, I don't wanna pass away. I've been thinking of our future cause I'll never see those days. I don't know why this has happened, but I probably deserve it. I tried to do my best, but you know that I'm not perfect. I've been praying for forgiveness.
Okay. I think I could do this. Give me a second. I love this song, so I don't want to die. Yeah, honestly, I felt that mood. But you're not gonna. Don't worry, Jay. You'll be here for a long time if I have anything to do with it. I'll will it into creation. Okay, ready? Too long, don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. Out of bed. I don't wanna fall asleep, I don't wanna pass away. I've been thinking for a future cause I'll never see those days. I don't know why this has happened, but I'll probably deserve it. I try to do my best, but you know that I... Should I do it without the backing track? I'll do it without the backing track. No, that is the backing track. W singing. W, your mom. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't nice of me. Don't stay away for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you up and gone out of bed. Yeah, I don't wanna fall asleep. I don't wanna pass away. I've been thinking of my future cause I'll never see those days. I don't know why this has happened, but I'll probably deserve it. I try to do my best, but you know that I'm not perfect. I've been praying for forgiveness. You've been praying for my health. When I leave this earth, hoping you'll find somebody else. Cause yeah, we still young. There's so much we haven't done. Getting married, start a family, watch your husband with the son. I wish it could be me, but I won't make it out of this bed. God damn. So see you once again. My life was kind of short, but I got so many blessings. Happy you were mine. It sucks that all of this is ending. Don't stay away for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you up and going out of... Okay. Okay, sorry. This song eases me. That is good to hear. That fits so well. Huh? What? Me singing it or the rapping? Okay, that's enough for today. Good lullaby, good lullaby. Happy lullaby. Now you can sleep peacefully. Actually beautiful. I'm not gonna say what I was thinking of saying, but thank you. The hook, your voice fits. Aw, thank you. What's the hook again? Which one's the hook? He's not searching. Hello. The connection's not working. I want to give you guys Dave the Diver, but it's not getting already. Pacific window, Dave the Diver. Hell yeah! Yes, sir. Go down, please. Go to bed, make a cup of coffee for you. Well, that is good to hear. You'll never hear it again. But thank you for your lovely comments. It does not push me to do it again because I have social anxiety. Dave. Seducing the fishies. The fishies with a song. So we can have more for dinner. Have more sushi for dinner. For dinner. I want to listen to that song now again, and I will do it. Go do it, Jay. It's a nice song. It's a fun little song. Do you guys want the music from the game or the regular music we have in the background? Language. We'll keep it in English. Actually, the game has nice music. The game has really nice music. We'll keep the game music. Instead of this music. We'll have a little change of pace. New game. I'm so excited. Updated. We're gonna be fishermen and fisherwomen. You're fishy people. You actually think being a diver would be a fun job? Okay, Dave, we're taking a bit too long. I want to get underwater. We are... Oh, Dave, you got here quickly. Well, I was told to hurry here. I was on vacation, you know. So where's the sushi at? Don't rush yourself. Have a look around. Look at this giant blue hole. I've never seen anything like it. It's not just the size. That's what she said. Every time you enter the giant big blue hole, that's what he said. The terrain and ecology changes, which means this could be a credible business opportunity. What kind of business? Well, we can discuss that later. I heard you took a break from diving. How about warming up? I'll guide you from here. Go ahead and go in. Man, I want to do a deathbed with someone, but I'm alone. I mean, Dre, if you got the rapping parts, I could do the singing parts, and then, you know, we can create a killer duet. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. I could rap it, yeah. Hey, yo! Hit me up whenever you want to create that. That makes no sense. If you want to rap a song or sing that, I'll be willing to sing it. It seems like fun. I have a good feeling about this. A sushi bar by the big blue hole. Bad lungs equal no oxygen needed. Huh? Oh. I don't know if that's a good thing. Well, I mean, yeah, because then you... If you go deeper, then if you just like trying to rap, like, you know, do kilo like Eminem moment. Nice swim. Alright, how about let's just try switching out a bit. 10 disadvantages into bust. Yes, sir. Can I have some of that buff? Actually, no. You know what buff I need? I need a Valorant buff. We're gonna play this for like a little bit, and then I'm gonna play Valorant because you guys don't know how much I've been wanting to play Valorant recently. Let's not practice using the weapon you'll need in dive knife. Oh. Try using a survival knife on the small fish. Ah! Oh my gosh, I could put one up. Whoa, I'm getting a call. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I can live longer without oxygen so I can hold my breath. Is it like a buff whenever you go swimming, Jay? Like... Oh, I got a fish? Like, if you ever go swimming when, like, you're underwater and you want to, like, hold your breath, or, like, say if you're taking a bath and, like, you know when you put your head underwater and, like, you want to hold your breath for how long? The harpoon? Huh. Well, I haven't used one in a long time. Do you aim first and then... looks like I need some practice. Try using the harpoon to catch. Let's say 3 fish. Aim with right click and fire with left click. Now try it out yourself. Oh shit. It's Dory. Just keep swimming. Just come here. Oh shit, no. Hell yeah. It's a double-edged sword. I can't hold my breath, but I can float naturally. You can hold your breath, but you can't. You can't for which one? I want this one. It's pretty. Come here. Ah. I think that should get you back on track in no time. Alright, come back to the boat. Don't tell me what to do. Don't. I can't float. Oh, you can't float? Oh no. Floating's actually really fun. Can you swim? Can you guys swim? Do you guys know how to swim? Okay, now you got the hang of it. Let's get down. Let's get down to biz. Dave, you love sushi, right? I love sushi. Of course. Soft fish meat with oily rice. Oh man, that's just the best. Ah, well listen up. I have a friend who's a sushi chef who left business for a while. I could kind of swim. That's a start. Honestly, knowing how to swim is overrated. I mean, you could just drown and then like the lifeguard can save you, and it could be like the cute little like Wattpad story, and then you know, next thing you know, you can't be together with the lifeguard because they like your enemy or some shit like that, and then it's like a whole enemies to lover type energy. Staying in the water is time for me. That's true. I think I know what you mean, because being in the energy, not being in the energy, being in the water. Water's like, it's like the sun. It makes you tired really quickly if you're not used to it. I mean, pilots can't fly, so I think sailors need to swim. Huh? Like fly like physically? It's not possible to fly physically. I bet so. Why don't you join Smash Adventure as well? What'd you say? I mean, I love eating, but I don't know anything about cooking. Nothing to worry about. The restaurant's all ready. All you need to is dive to get the ingredients. Doesn't sound too bad, right? What if I decline? I don't really have any money on me. I'll think I could pay. That reminds me. I just remembered that a while ago, you broke under my wattage. You broke my underwater. Oh shit. The repair cost would be 500 gold, but in charge for it. Oh shit, he's gonna blackmail us. How can pilots fly and flap their arms? But no, like the logic is that if like pilots, like they can fly a plane, you know, they're pilots of course. Well, I mean they have autopilot, but I don't know how to. But logically speaking, pilots know how to fly a plane, right? They don't know how to physically fly, mainly because you can't. Sailors, on the other hand, they know how to sail the boat or control the boat, but it's possible for them to know how to swim, because swimming is a much more what's the word called, tangible thing than trying to learn how to fly. You know why humans can't fly? Is because their shoulder bones are not strong enough. It's not built to hold the weight of flying. Just grow wings easy. Easy for you to say. Hop, hop, hop. Chitty. You probably already have wings. You just attach that shit. It's like magnetic. You attach it and you detach it, but there's like a button that you have to press, so it doesn't like easily detach when you're like in the air and like your wings fall off, so now you're just fucking free falling. Bancho? As you can see, it's ready just in time. Oh, it's already finished? Are you Fishman Cobra was talking about? Well, I'm more of a diver than Fishman. Alright, anyways, nice to meet you. My name's Banco. You like sushi? I sure do. Tuna belly, eel, sea urchin. Oh boy, just thinking about it makes my mouth water. Just as mediocre as I said. Damn, okay. Sushi is a good food that combines the soul of the sea and the land. Symbolizes Mother Nature herself. I mean, most people, however, have only tasted more accessible fish, just like you. How empty is life? How empty a life is that one ends without ever tasting the beauty of Mother Nature can offer. My calling is to bring the taste of Mother Nature to every. Oh, it's a cat, guys. One day, I'm gonna get a cat, and you know how everyone does like the cat cam. I know it's basic, but just know if I ever get a cat, you guys are gonna see the cat like more than like the game itself. An earthquake. You made my earthquake. Oh, you made my Ninja's quite a mess. Yeah, it looks like we have to delay the opening today. You know what? I spent all the money to get this restaurant ready, not to cover the repair cost. They're doing business in this state. In the end, the importance of a restaurant is the taste. First, we need ingredients. Did you bring any? Well, I had something that just caught. Only 3 fish? This would be nearly enough to serve the guests. I want to buy a cat, but my brother's deathly allergic. I remember you telling us about that, Jay. Is it like to all cats, or just like a specific cat in general? 7 more fish. All cats? Oh no. Even the naked ones? Even Bingus? I feel like being allergic to cats is... We're all allergic, but my brother's definitely... Oh, I see. Being allergic to cats is a very common thing. I don't know why. I don't like Bingus. Why you don't like Bingus? What Bingus do to you? I need coffee. I'm so tired. He's fucking goofy. You're goofy. What's wrong with Mr. Bingus? Mr. Bingus he just lived. Can I get this? Can I get this tiny one? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Can I? Oh. Hell yeah. Why can't I get 2 in 1? Have you seen other cats? I'd prefer them over Bingus. But the Bingus. Honestly, Jay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Bingus is goofy as fuck. I used to not like Bingus at first. The cat looks funny. OMG, Haiko's a big fan. Oh my gosh, D Kazu Latte. I've heard so much about you. Hello, it's nice to finally meet you. Oh shit, I'm almost dead. How are you, sir? I've heard so much about you. I can't get that. I actually want to pet Lynx. A link? The fuck? You think you is? What's the? Oh, is those like the big fish? Oh, there's a sea urchin. Ah, that hurts. I don't think sea urchin can be picked up with these gloves. Oh, you're a bitch. That's why they can't be picked up. Oh shit, sorry. You already know me. Oh, I do? Oh my gosh, sure. I thought you were like, you were the popular Kazu Latte that everyone's talking about. I must have mistaken you for someone else. I'm so sorry, sir. How have you been, sir? I didn't know we knew each other. Oh my gosh, that's so great. I'm gonna run out of oxygen. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm about dead. Oh shit. I want one of these ones. No, come here, please. I got your friend. And you, bitch. Sorry. Pink chilling, shouting, hashing, roll, Shinsai Warrior. Pink chilling. This game is so cute. It is. Olivia got there for me. I say thank you to Olivia. and then you get the fishies, and then you can make sushi, and then oh shit, Dave, come on now, I want this one. Can I poke one? I want to move some faster. How does oh shit? How does that one do more damage? Return to bolt. You seem to be enjoying this. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. This game is boring as fuck. Oh man. All we do is catfish. We didn't even make sushi yet. Enjoying. I don't know what you're talking about, home skillet. Anyways, I'm gonna go sleep now. It's 11:30. Gotta be early tomorrow. Good night, Dre. Thank you for stopping by. It's lovely chatting with you. Rest well, sleep well, sir. It's a good day tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Kazu. Also, since you're here, actually, but I don't even know if B's gonna be here. You need to recommend a song. Where do you think you're going? Did you? Oh, I don't understand. Dave is me on the Sunday afternoon. Kobo told me that there'd be someone to help me with the ingredients and serving. He said all I need to do is cook. And who else is there for that? But you! Did you make a channel on Discord? No, just recommend it in the chat here. Everyone, we got a collective 5 songs, and so far I've sang 2. Okay, yes sir. And then we pick. This will be here soon. I'll give you a quick primer. Soon. Open the ingredients below. Here you can check your fish, crops, sauces, and other materials you have. For now, we need to know. Come back later for. Oh, okay. How many songs per person? As many. Oh, C to close. That makes sense. As many as you want. And then I opened a bunch of tabs, and then we chose 1 through 5, and then Jay recommended another one, and then we sang the other one. Is a sushi recipe for the fish you acquired earlier, so try making that on the menu. Just register a dish to the menu. Oh, we'll do this one, because oh no, we'll do this. Dang, they just put the fish like that straight up. They don't even cut it or anything. Add to the menu. Setting ingredients to auto supply will make things a bit more convenient. Let me repeat, only food on the menu can be sold. If you run out of ingredients, you'll have to replace the items on the menu or refill the ingredients. Hopefully they'll recommend something similar to each. Here's what they chose so far. So we sang Deathbed by, was it Powfu? Yeah, Deathbed by Powfu. The Godzilla by Eminem. That's what we've sung. We have Idol by, I don't know how to pronounce their name. We have Unholy by Sam Smith, Viva La Vida by Coldplay, and The Creeper. Aw man. So we back in the minds. Got it rock above, side to side. How do you set it to auto thingy? Auto sir? Auto supply on. Stop auto supplying ingredients for the dish. No. Okay. Okay, go. Yes, sir. Auto supply. And then Salima. I thought that said salmonella. I was like, what? Cave Town, this is home. Oh. This home slowed lyrics. I think I've heard this one.
Dollars enough to drive all of the names I think in my head, but I don't wanna fall asleep.
Oh, this one. I know that one. That one's cute. Give me a cup of green tea to quench my thirst. God damn, you said please? No, only soft drinks, I think. Go over to Cobra. Oh. Pour the red milk. OS? What if I overfill it? Sorry. Oh. Wait, it's not your birthday today, is it? No. Birthday, so. Bro. I can't tell. Yeah, it is. Cause we see JKT of a good higher grade. Oh, but shit! Goddamn. I thought you would realize because I talked with you and B that this is when I'll do the karaoke stream, and that's also like the only reason I'm streaming today on Sunday. Bakozu, oh my gosh, hello, Bakozu. Hello. Bro. The day Faye told me that Bakozu needs to get more testosterone was the day I wasn't able to do Bakozu anyway. Happy birthday, Miss Kozu. Thank you, Sir Kazu. Thank you. Very lovely wishes. And the karaoke. Look, I did it also cute. Okay. I tried to Bakozu, but Bakozu's a little bit, look. I also had the hat, but I took the hat off. But yeah, that's our little setup for today. Skull emoji, what are you skull emoji? Oh no. Use. The laughing is not nice. I need to make this guy a little bigger. Or get him a little smaller. Oh, can you guys can't hear me over the music, can you? Okay. So use a year. It's been a year. Oh my gosh, hello, use. I can't believe it's been a year. It's crazy. I haven't been eating here so long. Hello, sir. How are you? I haven't been. I miss Chippy. I miss Chippy too. I really miss Chippy too. Chippy comes. I don't even know when Chippy's been here last. Guys, you don't know how much I miss Chippy. Yus and I and Chippy, we've been here since like from like the beginning. If you want to know how long I've been streaming, follow it's Chippy, and that's mainly how long I've been streaming. Because Chippy's been here since I was in like the basement. My brain be lacking, but my ass be packing. Damn, Kazu. I didn't know you. I know it's my birthday, but I didn't know you had all that cake on you. I talked with Chippy yesterday. You did? How is Chippy? Skull emoji. Hey, you said it, not me. You said it, not me. How's Chippy? How are you, Yus? How are you guys? Can I don't know Chippy's full ad though, so I can't even do that. Capamon needs to be made smaller. College 11. Wait, a year? Because you made a new account, didn't you? Yeah, so it's been longer than that. Goddamn. We've been streaming for that long? It's crazy, bro. Wait until the cooking is done. Wait until the cooking is done cooking. Time really do be passing by. How are you guys still here? I get tired of myself sometimes. I'm surprised you guys are not tired of me yet. Hello, hello. Hi. Hi, send back, sorry. It feels bad, man. What do you mean it feels bad? Why you feel bad for being here? I got another song too. What song? It's nice to see you again, Yus. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun to see people who have been here like a longer term. Lovers a day? Lovers a day. Paste lyrics. Oh goodness. 1 second, I'm being called. Oh my gosh, wait, it's actually been 2 months? Thank you for the 2 months resub. Ooh, oh my goodness. You're like Cube. Not the ooh. Oh, I guess this one. I should make a ooh emote. Should I do that? Your food can't be reused, so I have to. No! We don't put food. Well, alright. Why can't I eat it? Everything looks about ready. Don't forget to press E after filling the menu for bit. Oh, we do? E open Banku Sushi. Oh shit, it's open. I go front with you guys? I'm kind of scared. S, she said. No! Oh, it's perfect! Guys, look, I did it first time. And now I'm gonna get extra monies. What other emotes do you guys want? I can only pick up one. Oh shit, sorry. No, sorry. I was filling up their stuff. Can I take more than one dish? Dave moves too slow. Why can't he only pick up one dish though? He's not gonna get over there on time. You got your food, bro. Why are you so pissed? Grandma, you got a little bit to no patience. Didn't I give him his food? Y'all, I'm so confused right now. You still playing Genshin? I play Genshin. Actually, no, I lied. I play Star Rail more than I play Genshin. You still play Genshin, Yus? Genshin? Who is she? Kazu don't play Genshin at all anymore. No. Oh, have you moved to Star Rail? I need to give you guys something to watch because I have to go make the rice really quickly. Nah, what do you play now? Did you end up going for Danny Boy Kozu? I'm trying. It's like it's more so the one that like I want to get him, but if I don't get him, like I'm not upset about it, you know? I play MMORPGs and stuff. Shooters? Did you say shooters? What shooters do you play? I'm manifesting it for you. Did you get him, Kazu? Guys, I want to play Valorant. Rainbow Six Siege? How is Rainbow Six Siege? Yes, sir. To Rainbow Six Siege or to Valorant? I've heard a lot about Rainbow Six Siege. What if I play a bit of Valorant to Danny Boy? Oh, it's Danny Boy. I forgot I was supposed to do my dailies. For Star Rail and then move on to like another game, but Olivia freaking distracted me. Siege is pretty fun. I guess it. Oh, is there like different characters in Rainbow Six Siege, or is it like I don't say battle royale? You know. How is explain Rainbow Six Siege to me, use? I was in my dailies at 8 AM. I got strict daily schedule. Get it? Why are you up so early? Who's Ellie? Are you the man who's been driving around here? There's a tell me about the character here. So while I do you,
I love you.
I can't even do that. Yeah, I think so. I wake up at 5 AM each day. How's your build different? Because I have to wake up at 6, like 2 days out of the week for school. And I'm like dying. I could never do that. Display capture. Okay, here. Watch these for like 2 minutes and I will be right back in like 2 minutes.
Thanks. Okay, that hurts. That's worse. That's worse.
Try it again. Wait, really quick, yeah.
Okay. I love you.
Me too.
You love yourself too?
Yeah.
That's
Right,
weird
that works,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's also confusing.
Or I love you. I could see that.
Alright, try one more time.
Okay. I love you.
Oh yeah.
Right, hot top Chanel, bitch, we just right. You don't watch Chanel, bitch, we live life.
私よりも南欧帝君の御心がわかるというのかい？かわいいな。行くぞ。いや。
Guys, please stop this. Stop killing innocent villagers.
I think I will just skip the Ganyu banner because I already got plenty of good characters. I mean, she's alright. She got them fires and the looks, and she's pretty much wife material. Like, I'm not sure. I think she's not really necessary to my party. Okay, I just need her. I need her. She's so important for my team. Okay, why the fucking bell? Who needs the bell? Come on, come on. Yes! Please, please. Oh my god. But
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Bro, get off me. Yeah.
Ah, the ghetto! Those memories. So dark.
what? You fuckers.
Listen here. I don't like you. I am now going to bargain you. Woof woof bark bark. Woof 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 bark bark. Woof 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 bark bark.
Oh?
What did honestly, I just found something and I put it on. What happened? 4 minutes, goddamn, is longer than I expected. Mr. Vid Genshin Addict Sponge. I ain't even gonna lie to you, as much as I don't play Genshin, I still really like the game. Oh, look at back, cause thank you. What happened in the video? NC is just basically 5v5.
Did you know if you pick up a pen and
Let me turn off the display capture. And see, just basically a 5v5. The attacker side tries to defuse the bomb in the building, and the defender tries to defend the bomb. Each side has it. So basically, Valorant. Welcome back. Thank you. The more we talk about it, the more I want to play. Should I play Valorant and then we come back to Dave the Diver? Now that we finished our first day? The combat is very different from Val. I could see the combat being different, but like the whole notion of it, BRB, yes sir. Like the whole notion of it is like the same, you know? We can play comp. I don't know if I played my comp games for this. Actually, I think I have. If only Chippy were here in this tab. Tell Chippy to come back. Tell him to disappear and not disappear. Message him, be like, oh my gosh, Cosmo wants to say hi. Or tell him I say hi. I miss Chippy. Who else was there? There was another one, but I forgot their name. Make 100 gold. Acquire 2, acquire 2. I don't... Jay? There was a... I don't remember Jay. There was another one. It was a female. But I don't remember their name. Or like their user. But I remember them and Tofu came at the same time. Do you remember Tofu? Were you here when Tofu was active? Do you even know Tofu? Prologue, Titan, Tiger, oh. Me and him were best buddies on God, best buddies. I only remember Chippy. So you were here around Chippy's time then. Damn, you've been here for a hot minute. You're best buddies. I got best buddies. You guys still are best buddies, no? Oh shit, no, come back. Not many people in chat like talk to each other like off stream, so it's really. Can I pick up the starfish actually? I can. Oh wait, I want. Oh, is this the dude we're supposed to catch? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay. Bro was to beat my ass. I remember you guys having Asia accounts and I play with you guys. Oh, wait! Is it that one time where we glitched underwater and then we ran around underwater and stuff like that? I didn't catch him. I remember that. There we go. I don't remember. I think so. And then we like all had Sayu and then we did the thing where we all like ran around like underwater and stuff like that. I remember that. Come back, come back. No! I missed the Asia account. I don't even know if I still have my Asia account or if I like use it. Okay. If I used it for something else. Can I grab this? No, I cannot. Can I like poke you? Oh no, I can't. Oh, I got poisoned. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I'm gonna die. No, 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 no. It's cause no! Dave! Vivacito, please tell me you got all my stuff. Okay, good. Okay, that's all that matters. Oh, we're only able to retrieve one item? What the, oh, but you're only rank 2, but you're rank 1. Sad. Well, there's only one of you, and then 3. Okay, we'll get this one. That makes me miss Genshin. There's like so many games I wanna replay. Have you seen like the new area at least? I don't miss Genshin. You don't? What do you mean you don't miss Genshin? It's the first time bringing Dave back from. Dave, did you get to loosen the wrist? I saw a lot of nasty fish. It won't be easy going any deeper. Oh, uninstalled? Is that why you don't miss it? A gun? Oh. Okay, she feels like a. Honestly, I felt that. Like the more they came out with stuff, and like the more stuff you had to play, kind of feels like you were dragging yourself to do more things rather than like going on and enjoying the game. Do you think that if you were able to like forget about Genshin use and then play it again, it'll change like the way you feel about it? Or like, would you do Genshin again? One rope and one scrap. Oh, you heard him right, Dave? Into the blue holding blue. By the way, if you run out of oxygen midway, you'll only be able to make it back with one item. Well, I realized that. Maybe. Oh, done. Would you ever try Star Rail use? Red, oh my god. Red, I don't even know why, but whenever you come into chat, I always feel the urge to play Valorant. Maybe it's because when you came here, I was playing Valorant. But how are you, bestie? Need a haircut. There we go. Valorant is not a good game. It's not? Why not? Don't play it. But why not? Wait, but why not? I think Valorant has a very special place in my heart. Meaning it causes me to regret my life decisions. Is there a way to like swim slower so we could like sneak up on the fish? Oh, ha ha ha. You ran into me, bud. Oh, shit. I lose my mind. Have you played Valorant recently, Red? I can't pick up. Oh, sorry. Hell yeah. Give me the ox. Can I like... So you can hit me, but I can't hit you? Oh, critical depth. Oh, shit. I thought we were gonna die. Granted till Ascendant 2 gave up after all the talk. You played Valorant? Honestly, I agree there's a lot of toxicity, even in fucking iron lobbies. Holy shit. I hate the community, but I love the game. I was just playing it today after ages. How does it feel being back on Valorant? What? What to what use? Oh, chop. Oh, come back here. Fishing simulator? No, Dave's a diver. Yes, I'm going back up. Goddamn. I'm into y'all. Oh shit. Can I? Please. Okay, alright, okay. The toxicity always gets to me and I can't resist not being toxic back. I mean, being toxic back is the only way. It lets you get out this form of like anger that you have like pent it up inside of you, you know? The game messes with my mind, but honestly, I felt that. It's like a good game, but it's not good enough to risk like your mental health and well-being, so to say. Press escape to open the pre-phone. Didn't they say, I don't know if they said it or people wanted there to be a thing where people wanted there to be a thing where you're able to block certain people who like you want to avoid or like who you don't want to play with and stuff like that. And I feel like that would be a good addition into Valorant because although like you'll like block like literally like 90% of the Valorant community, there's like that still like 10% that, you know, gotta love a little bit of toxicity. Exactly. It helps you if you have some pent up anger, you can give it off to other people who are being toxic towards you. you know, especially when it's not on you. There's like goodbye Serenity. Okay, bye. Oh, complete the gun. Hell yeah, I got me a weapon. Good old America. There's toxicity that's like, you know, like banter, like funny and stuff like that. But then there's also like genuine toxicity that is just like, okay, I hope you swallow a rock. Siege is still the most toxic community. More toxic than Valorant? I ain't never seen a community more toxic than Valorant. Is it evening? Okay, go back. Let's go make sushi. I like listening to people argue in VC. Really? Red, why would that be fun? I can never hear people argue. I can't be in the vicinity if people are arguing. So say for example, if like I'm in like a call and like two people are arguing, I can't be there. But like if it's like I'm outside and like I'm just like a watcher goer, then I don't want to say it's fun, but you know, drama. I like drama. Do you watch drama shows, Red? Like, do you indulge in those like messy kind of reality TV? I'll sucker punch both of them. Say I won't. You won't use violence. Actually, violence is sometimes the answer. Violence is not the answer. Don't. No, I like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I don't watch that kind of stuff. You know, like Keeping Up with the I don't know. I never understood Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, Dave, look at you. You're moving faster. He's got some pep in his step. Aloha. I'm gonna get you your thing. Oh shit. Dave needs to move faster. Okay, Dave. Okay, Dave. Okay, Dave. That's enough. Oh, I can't pick up two. Dave, did you just eat the person's sushi? I cannot pick up two. Dave, what the fuck is this? Please, sir. Oh, well. They need to allow us to pick up more than one sushi. Can I time skip? Can I just skip? Kardashians? You don't like the Kardashians use? Oh shit, oh damn. I just never given it a try. Honestly, me either. Oh, so what was different from yesterday? I don't understand. Reality TV is a bit hit or miss. Ugh, what happened, Haru? What's wrong? Haru, Olivia said she was gonna buy me Baldur's Gate. I was just like, so now I'm tempted and now I really want to buy it. But that's besides the point. How are you, sir? Good morning. We're talking about reality TV and... Oh shit, no, I don't want to talk to him. And Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Homie, what happened? Guys, the more we talk about it, I kind of play Valorant now. Would you guys hate me if I played Valorant? Oh shit. Today we're actually no, but we need more food. Oh? A sign. Oh no, it's the gun. Tab. Oh hell yeah, I got me a pistol. No. Oh no, shit. You fell right into my trap. Val? Is that frog emoji? Pal? Why, you know, like, what? What? I'm craving shooter game. You know when you're craving violence? I crave violence. Mainly because I'm watching so many streamers play Valorant that like I'm just like I need to play it myself now. Dave, swim faster. Well. Oh, come back, please. Please. I just want. How do you okay, wait. Okay. I just want to be friends. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, chop. Okay. Oh? I got me a new sniper rifle. That does more, less damage. Okay, this one does more. Rope. Oh, we needed this. We should get closer. Oh, what is that? What if we played one game? We'll play one. Actually, we can't even play ranked. I'm not even confident enough. Stop it! Don't touch me, bitch! Oh shit! I need to escape, please. You guys gotta watch Alex. No, it was him who kept chasing me. I need this. I just hope they don't charge us. And back. Welcome back. I died twice. We talked about Valorant, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Hair was in trouble. I'm just close to buying Baldur's Gate. Yeah. I hope your stuff went well, Kazu. We got a gun, we got a blicky, we got a dresser. That's fun. I'm like this close to playing Valorant. Cause I want to ruin my day. Can I like... Nope. Oh, can I like chop you? Oh shit. I want jellyfish for dinner. Oh, sir. Oh shit. Sorry. No, come back. We're friends, right? No, come back. We strapped, never caught lacking. Hell yeah, y'all know what's up. Never catch us lacking. We stay strapped. We stay have the blicky on us. What about the blicky? Ayo, Yankee with no brim. Yankee with no brim? What's that mean? Daddy Yankee? Dale. It's much 305. What's up in the room? Dale. You know Yankee with no brim? Apparently Kazu does. I don't know what the kids know these days. Come on, Pablos. That's just, oh shit, a baseball bat. Hit out the block. I don't dance, I know you can. Not a chance. The escape pod. Hey yo, Yankee with no brim. Yankee with no brim. I'm 19. I'm 18. And I'm 21. Miss Stupid is old. According to Narek, I am. Happy birthday thing. Oh, okay. Gotta go back. 21. That's. What'd you think I was? We get 35? I pray for you, dog. When they get close to becoming a MILF? It's Monday the Miss. I follow. Okay. Hurry up, Dave! God damn! Your mom's bad. Fuck your tea. I want to be able to carry more than one. Why can't he carry more than one? Is that an upgrade he needs? Food's coming out too slowly. I'm so sorry. Dave is a bit... Is it because they're getting served the wrong? No, but they're getting served the right one, right? This lady's too impatient. Oh! BRB, y'all. Okay, I've been throwing it in the garbage this entire time. I didn't realize you had to press spacebar. That makes so much sense now. Can I start this day over? I can't start this day over. Oh, we don't have any more stuff. Whoops. So at least we know how to do that. Well, we wait. Well, oh, is this from an anime? I like this one. Well, new hair, new jeans, new teeth, new shoes. This next day we're gonna get so much peoples because I actually know what to do now. We will save. Nope. Do this. Listen to this. And then I'll do that before we switch games. Oh, this one.
That I cannot fall in love, but I guess this avoids the stress of falling out of it.
Are you tired of me yet? Come back! Sick right now, but I can't.
When I'm ready, I will fly us out of
here. I know this one. I feel like this is something you sing to like a child. Oh shit. No, come back! Come back! Come back. Oh shit.
Make you stare.
Ready? Great angle.
I'll hide my chest and I'll figure out a way to get us out of here.
Cheesy tortilla crunch? What's that? Okay, I think I know this one. Okay, we can play from the beginning. Harry, that sounds good. Tell me more. Ready? Oh, it's not yet. Often I'm upset oh, but I guess I suppose it's just falling out of it. Are you tired of me yet? I'm a little sick right now, but I swear when I'm ready I will fly us out of here. There's a pause. Cut my hair.
stare.
Chop. I'll hide my chest and now to get us out of here. No, come here, bitch. No, please. I didn't mean that. Actually, I did. I just want to fish you. Wait, you let go of him. Nah, bitch, come here. No, bitch, come here. Please, I'm sorry. Dave, you're such a bad diver. I'm gonna try to not swear. I get the voices because I can't get you out of my head. Mental illness risk. Can I use that one, Kazu? I want to use that one so badly. And then if you want to sprinkle a little bit of toxicity in it, just be like, and not in a good way. Oh, goodness. Dave, you're so, oh my goodness. Oh no. I feel bad for my poor keyboard. That's a cute one. It seems like you have the zoomies. I can't hold the conversation, but I can hold your hand. Nah, sorry. Contact leads to kids, and I can't have those right now. Are you my phone because I can't get enough of you? Oh, we have enough ammo. That one doesn't work though. If I was a fisher, you'll be my oxygen because without you, I'd die. Can I call you Minecraft without the calf? My crush is you. My crush is ugly, but without the G-O-Y. I don't want to go too far down, because then we might possibly die. We'll stay closer to the surface. We'll catch the surface fishies. Come here. Come here. I caught your friend. How do you feel about that? I wish Dave can move while he like scoped in. You reckon that'll make it like a lot easier? Skull emoji? What do you mean skull emoji? You're swearing any better, Kazu. We were on the same level of Riz. Dare I say we both might be Riz gods. I know. But one's a Wizard of Oz and one's Wizard the place. Shit. Oh, hi. I wish you could catch. Oh, I don't have space. Oh. Oh no. Dave's just like, I have no space. Can I empty out my backpack? No, I can't. You make grades because you bad as a failing class Riz. You actually brought them back, I guess. Oh, alright, that should do for now. Thank you. As a word I promised, since you helped me with my research, the sudden ecological changes in this region will now be studied further, so I'll continue to need your services. Add my number. Damn! Are you Ellie? Because you just put your number in my phone. Are you my homework? Because I can never stop thinking about you. Even though I don't like you. WS, WS. Sushi time. So true. That's so true, dude. Oh my gosh. Are you my afternoon tea? Because I can't wait to have you. British is. Ain't no way. Yes way. It just happened, sorry. Actually, no, sorry, not sorry, because my res is, you know, top tier in it. Are you Valorant? Because even though you're bad for my mental health, I still want to play you. Mentally unstable Riz. Are you a test because I do? Stay you don't? Oh my goodness. Are you the national state exam because I'll never cheat on you? Can we start? Oh no, it's too early. We got 4 money. Oh shit. Skip to evening time. It'll be evening. No, let's. But like we don't have much time. I feel like once we go out and come back in. Emil, that was very good. Of course. Kazu, do you know who you're talking to? Do you like know who you like talk to on like a bi-daily, bi-weekly basis? Because my Riz is just immaculate. If you need Riz lessons, I got you. I won't gatekeep. Are you HTTP? Because without you, I'm just Are you a website? Because I'm salivating? Ew. I'm on my way, so way. This place seems different. Your mom's different. Why do you look so angry? Dave, you could stop distracting me. Hey you all. Come on, come on. Best. It melts my mouth. Where's your mother, my tongue? Are you North Korea? Because I can't leave you. Political Riz. Are you the president? Because you rule my world. Why you chew like that? Goddamn. Are you a fish? Because you're good for my health, and I like sushi. A Norway, of course, man. Okay, we're switching to Valorant now. It's happening. I'm sorry, I really want to play Valorant. How long have we been playing this? Good luck, little bro. Thanks, big bro. Who is that? Dr. Bacon. Are you Dave by any chance? Not really. Wow, I'm always right about these things. Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Bacon. I'm an archaeologist who studies sea people civilization. I hope you get good teammates. Honestly, the teammates might be good. It's I'm the one who's bad. I'll explain to you. Aren't you lucky to have an expert like me tell you about them? Maybe I shouldn't have asked. Oh, well, I guess we have to wait. They worship fishing gills allowing them to live underwater. Oh, is that why underwater looks the way it does? What if we play comp? You think we'll get birthday luck because we're playing comp? But proof they were real was found right in the vicinity of this place. Huh? This is amazing. This is an amazing find, one that could turn the whole academic world upside down. See, you only see such things in comic books or games. What makes you so sure they were real? My sister closely analyzed an artifact found nearby and found that it is from no known civilization. His smirk is weird. He's like those guys who think like they have like a cool ass smirk, but then oh, you can't even see it. Where's my thingy? But it just looks goofy as fuck. That's interesting. But what business do you have with me? Well, you see, my sister, cryptocurrency. Oh, he's a part of the crypto? Oh, I see. Didn't plan out, and he won't be around for a good while. That's why I'd like you to help me. Oh. We're busy at the sushi bar. I don't think we can Sorry to interrupt the conversation. I'm Cobra. I work with the Cobra is literally the person who told you everything. Well, we don't have time to swim around sushi bar. I suppose you have one. Alright, I'll help. Haha, isn't that lucky? Of course. I'll upgrade that. Oh? So you get more oxygen? You know when someone like offers you something and you'd rather get like money over like what they're offering? It's kind of like that with this guy. Now let me tell you how to use iDiver. It's okay. We'll learn how to use iDiver another day. Oh, I guess we have to learn how to use iDiver. Upgrade the suit for free. Select spacebar. Oh, this one. Upgrade. Level 2. Now I'll be able to venture a bit deeper. I'll be in touch. Bye. Find sea people artifact. He seems nice. Made first equipment upgrade. He seems like a jolly fella. Weapon shop. Oh. We've seen him do his craft. Interesting. Didn't expect that. He's like a gamer dude. Oh, is it the new people we can call now? The weapon. Oh. Settings. Save. 12:43. Okay, it was this one. Morning on the boat. Time to go wrestle some people in the... I'm actually kind of scared. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Okay, I'll be looking already. Thank you, cousin, for the like. I hope your stuff goes down well. We're gonna be tussling some people. I'll probably play like 2 or so games. And then we'll see how things sort out from there. Maybe I'll go back to what's it called? What's that word called? Okay, Star Rail. I like do my dailies. But we'll see after that. The music. I'll play these ones. Play some Fujikase. It's been a hot minute since I played this game. Oh my goodness. Peter Parker. Oh my gosh, Peter Parker. Diver, Star. Where's Valorant? Valorant. There we go. What color? We'll stick. I used white last time. We'll stick with white. White is always my favorite. I don't want to say loadout, because it's always like the same thing. We'll play a team deathmatch, and then we will go straight into a game. Valorant.
Match found.
Is taking the or Jenny to which one? We'll use Race to new Radiant. I feel like after a while, I'm always like trying to save like the stream info like 5, 6, 7 times, because it never say I'm inconsistent. Honestly, same. It never actually saves. Also, I'm gonna take out my headphones, so if anything like messes up with the audio, y'all can just yell at me. Y'all know the drill. Gonna close. Oh man, so way back in the night. Baby, tonight, keep your shots falling in love again. What if my thing starts? I hope it doesn't start lagging again. It's like my one biggest fear. Because we got like one good stream, and then after that, it just started lagging. All day, every day. Let's hope it doesn't fall into that trap this time. Although it taking forever to load is making me think that it's falling into that trap this time. Oh, even my thing says happy birthday. That's so cute. Oh, I was just about to say we're gonna load in, so it's gonna be like, whose computer? I don't remember. Friendly Ghost. Stage 2. We'll learn how to use a sheriff. Today we'll use Phantom. And then Bulldog. Oh, okay, we just went out. This feels so weird. Oh, yes, sir. What's this one? I can't upgrade. Oh, sir? Oh, shit. Can you heal? Can I run back in here and heal? No, it doesn't work. It's not like Overwatch.
Not ready yet.
Where's these people? Okay. I don't have my thing. Oh, it reloads. There you go, Miss Reina. Even though that was just me. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. What? Okay, that's not fair. Yes, sir. Is this like regular deathmatch with... No, please! OG Val, Cube, what do you mean ill? You missed the entire Dave the Diver. Dave and I had a lot of adventures together. No! Can I oh. When I tell you I've been like craving Valorant for like the longest time, it's because I watched too much Valorant. Oh. I'm scared, ain't nobody. She's behind me. I knew it! I knew it! No, it's like, oh, I love Dave, play 10 hours. You play Dave the Diver? I didn't know. I don't know if you heard the part where I like, I didn't know that you had to press spacebar and not Q to give them like their items. So I was there for like 3 days straight just throwing everyone's items in the garbage. So way. Oh, you crouching fuck. I've uninstalled Valorant and become... Really? Did you actually install it? Oh, shit.
There.
I just really have an attachment to it because it's like my first shooting game. Or like serious shooting game. Other than that, I like hate this game. I love watching it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Ah, I mean it was. Oh, say. It still didn't work. Oh shit. I mean, maybe it's... Oh shit. 70! It's healthier for you. Just don't play Valorant. Valorant's not a healthy game. Like, mentally. Oh, you scared me. Don't crouch. Oh, F? Which one's F? It's because you friend shot me as well. My first FPS game and met almost all my friends. Oh, that's so cute. It's like a game that you have like a love-hate relationship with. No, please don't lag.
Off your feet!
Oh, well, I'm off. Yeah. You know, you should play Baldur's Gate. Bitch. Bitch. Oh! Crouching flop. I realize that like other people crouch when I'm one of those people that crouches a lot too. Haha. Oh, chamber. Oh. I'm planning to play with my friend later this year. Baldur's Gate? That's exciting. When I finish with my internship. I like how it has that multiplayer aspect to it. Chamber! Oh, how'd you get over there? It's good how like if you wait, you can if there's any like ever a time where it like goes on sale, you can wait for it to go on sale. And that'll be very exciting as well. Oh, you bitch. It's almost never the same game if you... Yeah, that's what they're telling me. Harry tells me a lot about it. There's like a lot of crazy shit in that game. It's like, what's it called? What's the game called? Dungeons and Dragons? This looks a lot like Split. And like even if you take the same path, like if you and another person take the same path, it's 14. Hopefully we can get 14 kills in game. If you like and another person take like the same path, it's not gonna be the same. You're gonna get different, you know, outcomes. Dungeons and Dragons. Have you played Dungeons and Dragons, Q?
Match found.
I need more people to play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know much. Oh! I don't know who should I play. Should I just play Killjoy? Watch One Piece? I will definitely watch One Piece. Okay, we have one of those. I need someone that isn't serious about it, which is hard to find. Dungeons and Dragons? In my head, I'm just like, is it really a game to be serious? I mean, well, yeah, that's true. Sage or Viper. We don't need another Smokes. It's like I always felt like it would be fun for the like Dungeons and Dragons to like just not be taken seriously, because then you create more like
We could use a healer.
You can create more
Either that or Sky if you like this guy. Oh, okay.
unique kind of scenarios. Or like you can have more fun with it, maybe because you're not like kind of worried. Or as like as hooked on the certain outcomes. Oh, listen to K-pop.
I wasn't strong enough before, but now I am strong enough for us all.
We listen to Icky by Card, even though it's the sped up version.
Yo, oh my god, that classic.
Icky Card. Audio. There we go. Hopefully that's not too... That'll be the one song and then this whole thing gets like fucking muted.
Enemy spotted B.
I shouldn't have came to comp. I'm nervous now. I'm actually scared.
Reloading.
Reina, don't stand in front of me, please.
Destroyed. Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
I forgot what buttons to press.
Heaven.
One enemy remaining.
Omen? Oh, we don't have an omen. There we
Nice.
go.
Nice.
They have courage, but no one is immune to fear.
Maybe that's what Baldur's Gate is. To allow... It's a more free-falling game. I don't know, free-falling.
Brandon, you don't have to use your mirror right here. I'll blind it if you
What?
Yo, what?
Easy game.
You don't have to use your blind right here. I'll use mine.
I don't want to get a Spectre. Do I have to get a Spectre? Let me not get a Spectre. I'll save for a Vandal.
Where are you? Enemy beat. Reloading. Enemy spotted. Bring them down. Placing swarm grenade. Reloading. Bring them down. Swarm grenade.
Rotating mid.
Got to get frisky. Heads getting frisky. Makes me roll.
Sage, don't rush in the smoke. They're rotating.
Talking about guidance.
Placing alarm bot. Bot coming back.
Cover going out.
25 jet.
Placing swarm. Last player
Oh.
standing.
There's another one. Heaven. Nice try. Oh, no, no, no. To the team, please.
Sir Jet is playing hard to get. Alright, I'll play.
Oh, I was on the... is it weird? Is it... Do you feel like there's a rule behind, like, saying nice try? But the rest of the team can't buy. Oh, Randy's gonna buy. Like, do you say nice try when you're one of the last two people alive? Or... Oh? Omen didn't buy! Omen!
Omen kill. Placing sentry.
Oh, they have a deadlock?
Bring them down. Here. Placing swarm turrets destroyed. Swarm grenade out.
You reckon this is a good angle?
Spike down A.
Oh.
Sight?
Oh shit.
One enemy remaining.
Fake.
Last player
Sage.
standing.
Oh no. You reckon the Spectre's gonna be there? Oh shit.
Shadows traveling.
You got the Vandal.
Cover going out.
30 seconds left.
You reckon this works? Cause me, I think I heard him up here, like right here. Okay, good.
We showed them their place. Now keep them there.
Oh.
Killjoy, is that your... or... yeah, can I buy that Vandal, Killjoy?
Can I get this? Thanks.
They're nice. I'll buy it. I bet one. I have 0 monies. I'm hiking broke. I can't die. I should have bought like a bulldog or some shit. No!
Fucking one
I
source, dude.
almost had them. You reckon I should change the color to red? General outline
player standing.
red. Oh. If only the thing was like a sage wall and like, oh,
My ult ready.
red feels weird. 1 second.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Sage, the life you give. Do you ever wonder where it's taken from?
Need a drum.
I'm gonna have to leave this game. Oh no. I can't buy that. I feel so bad. I don't want to go AFK. Whoops.
Bring them down. Turret out. Bring them down.
What if I act like my Wi-Fi disconnected?
There.
Oh no.
Get out of my way. Oh.
Last player standing.
Oh no.
Sage, you had 2,200 credits in buying Marshall.
I'd feel bad if I had to go. I have to go.
My ultimate is ready.
I'm so lazy. Can I get this Reina to give vistas to FF? You reckon we FF? We can't go there now.
Reloading. Still in sight.
I'm like, oh shit. Okay, how are you? Really, maybe QAT because no one's not. I'm so sorry. I would, but I literally have to leave soon. But maybe another day we can queue if you want. Okay, got one.
I have the Vandal and then maybe.
Sorry, I'm just trying to like figure out. Lady Pig, your name is funny.
Spike down B.
I like your name.
One
Oh.
enemy remaining.
You saw her right side.
I really didn't see her. I'm gonna be.
She's right side.
Behind you, Killjoy.
Wait, sorry, did you hear? You can't. Cause what? I have to like leave. Actually, like
Sage, is
it's
that
at least
your
soon.
Vandal?
I may even have to leave probably in like the middle of this game. Okay, yeah. Apologies. But if you want to play another time, you can add my Valorant tag, and maybe we could play when you're free. I'm like
Let's go
trying
ahead.
to navigate if I can convince everyone to FF. It's so funny. Oh.
Bring them down.
Cutting their vision. Enemy A. Reloading. Reloading.
Maybe they could. Oh shit.
Enemy spotted A.
My territory.
Oh. No.
Stealing sight.
Enemy spotted A. Cutting their vision.
I'm gonna rotate.
Last player standing. Red planet.
I was making my way around the other side of the site. I don't know why you would rotate. We could have just pinged him.
You ever can hit him? Oh, oh no! I feel like this is gonna go back and forth. When they doing this multi-tip, we're gonna see how
Everyone note down your observations, then let's run it again.
far we can get.
Need a drop.
Again, no assist.
Cover going out.
Turret out.
Are you gonna fight?
Reloading.
Stealing sight.
Careful.
Can I?
Initiated. Bring them down.
Oh.
Caught one. Here. Here. Many enemies. Placing swarm grenade.
Spike down B.
Swarm grenade out. I got the spike.
Last player standing.
Is this
Spike
ranked? Yes,
down,
Aya,
B.
this is ranked. Hi, how are you?
30 seconds
Sorry.
left.
This is definitely ranked. But it's also like, oh my gosh. What do you mean, oh my gosh? Good luck, thank you. I don't even know if I can stay for the entire game, that's the thing. It's just like, leave. And it was so funny because like I had a dream, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, where I had to like leave in the middle of like a ranked game and I didn't come back till like the game was like over. So I feel like it's manifesting itself. But I mean, hopefully, we'll see. Thank you. I hope you've been doing well, Aya. I hope your break has been going well. I saw that you were taking a break.
I will find you.
Let me have spike, let me have spike, let me have spike, let me have.
Spike placing sentry.
We should stop going this site though.
Make noise here, I'm a TPA. KJ, watch sewers. Gecko likes to be in sewers.
Cage, why is he saying you watch yours when I'm supposed to say? I don't think we should spend too much time here if he's gonna go A. You agree we should go A? Oh.
Flank? Like what?
Sleep.
You were running with your knife out! Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah! Monster! Last player standing.
Rest.
I shouldn't have laughed at that. That seems pretty mean. NT. Is it really a nice check?
One dream ends, Another
It's football season. Time to watch big sweaty muscle men hit each other. Did the football game start yet, Haru? Oh, I was literally just about to ask if you can log into my Valorant account and play this game for me, but I realized you weren't even home. Yeah, mine just started. Your football game? Or your football season?
Where are
You reckon I could fake throwing this game?
my territory?
Also, oh.
Oh.
Oh, they're not going anywhere because of the wall.
Reloading. Spike down.
Happy birthday, thank you.
Reload 3 them down.
Thank you, sir.
Last player standing. One
I
enemy
am
remaining.
1 year older, sadly. It's weird. We're gonna cut the cake soon. So I'm trying to
Keep fighting.
I'm trying to like grow this game but also not at the same time. So like it could get done faster. Happy birthday, Kozu. Sir, thank you. You seem more excited about it than I am. I think it's exciting. I did a cute little karaoke as I promised.
Turn out.
Gecko likes to come from sewers, so just you don't have to peek sewers. You can just hold that angle.
He sounds irritated.
I'm gonna flash.
I don't want to peek because I'm afraid they're gonna get mad. Oh! Whoops.
Just one.
Get back. Reloading. Last player
If this
standing.
game ends on like abruptly, just know I had to leave. That's all. That's all that I'm saying. Not this game, this stream, everything.
$30 seconds left.
It's just out of nowhere, you just say, okay guys, bye, I gotta go. Yeah. You reckon Reyna wins this?
You have 16 seconds.
I don't reckon Reyna wins this.
10 seconds left.
Or
Do
maybe
not
they
sit in that
can.
back corner. Do not sit in that back corner.
Where do you want me to go?
Allie.
I want to hear this play out. You sound so stressed. I feel
Not
so
one heaven.
bad.
They dropped. You don't have to swing it.
I feel like this dude is not used to like clutching situations. They're sticking it, no? Oh damn. NT. NT.
Last round in the half.
Last round to use our creds.
Maybe we can
Don't
make
waste your
this
firepower.
out, but I don't have to go AFK. I lied. We have 10 minutes. You guys used to make a use me on the Wii? Oh my gosh. We're switching sides, wow. The Phantom? I don't got minis. I got me cute little 5 kills. That's all I need. Spreading me. Oh, she's an op. An opping stage is unique.
Bomb grenade out.
Reloading.
My territory. My rules.
Oh.
Spike down A.
Get out of my way.
They have this. You reckon they have this?
Last player standing.
That was weird. That they like was just waiting it. Man doesn't have the spike though.
One enemy remaining. Blood is ready. Did they really think they could scare me?
Oh my god, it damn.
Switching sides.
Yes, please.
Phase, that was a work of art.
No.
Fuck no.
That was our only chance. Oh my gosh. You think can they remake the second? Actually, no. They can only remake the first round, right? Oh shit. I can't even hear much.
They're here on A.
Yeah.
Bot coming back.
Miss. Oh, that was Sage. Miss Sage.
Getting orb.
70 Neon. 22 Gecko.
Last player standing.
I can make it. Oh, but that's 4 rounds. I was gonna say I can make it seem realistic because I'm a bad player.
Placing sentry. Alarm bot out.
And then the other
Placing swarm grenade. Here.
and then the other situation. That should have been fine. Oh.
Here. Turrets destroyed. Found them. Bomb grenade out.
Oh.
Spike down mid.
Here.
Missed the running gun.
One enemy remaining.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out. My ult's not
Bro,
ready.
Omen Kai. Wait, who took the sheriff?
They're all dead? I have more tests to run.
I feel the strain. Block it out, Omen.
Valorant, guys, I have to go now because of my sister has to go to work and I have to cut the cake. So we're gonna say goodbye in the middle of a Valorant game. Thank you guys for stopping by and being here with me. It was an exciting, cute little day.
Spike planted.
Cover going out.
Reloading
Happy birthday. Yes, thank you, thank you.
One enemy remaining. Last player
Push,
standing.
push.
Yes, thank you.
You're good.
Thank you.
Don't stress. stress if I die. It was great
yeah, I'm
being
gonna
here.
leave now. Thank you guys
Also, delete
for
my holiday.
being here with me, spending the day with me. It was fun, and I don't know when I'm gonna stream next, but yes, it'll be soon. And bye. Thank you, Raid, for stopping by. It was lovely chatting with you and seeing you again. But yeah, thank you guys so much once again, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.